Hi, this is Miss Kelly. I'm going to be going over the cold read for this week, making sure you're remembering to use all the skills we've learned this school year. Before we start with Avalanche, I'm just going to review our Unreal, which tells us what to do before we start reading our cold read. U stands for underline the title, so I'm going to do that first. The title of this passage is Avalanche, so I'm going to underline that title. And then the passage of our second article is Weathering and Erosion, so I'm going to underline that title. Now I'm going to look back at the N for Unreal, which stands for number the paragraphs, so I'm going to number the paragraphs in the first article and in the second. So in the first article we've got paragraph 1, paragraph 2. Paragraph 2 is going to be continued on the back of the first article, so that's still 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to go to the second article, Weathering and Erosion, and I'm going to start with 1 again. 1, 2, 3. 3 also continues on the back of this passage, so 3, 4, 5. So now I've numbered my paragraphs. The next thing we need to do is read the questions, then read the passage. So I'm going to read the questions first. We're going back to the first passage, which is Avalanche. Actually, the questions are going to be for both passages. So I'm going to read question 1. Please follow along as I read. Use the article, Weathering and Erosion, to answer questions 1 and 2. Number 1, what is erosion? Number 2, what are 3 things that can cause weathering and erosion? Number 3, what is an avalanche? Number 4, does an avalanche happen quickly or over a long period of time? Use evidence from the text to support your answer. Number 5, contrast weathering and erosion with avalanches. Use information from both texts to support your answer. Remember, contrast means how they are different. And number 6, can avalanches cause weathering and erosion? Support your answer using evidence from both texts. So next I'm going to read the passages. And please follow along as I read. The first passage is Avalanche by Rachel Cressman. Paragraph 1. Have you ever heard of an avalanche? Avalanches are sudden natural events where large amounts of snow and ice slide down a mountain. As they slide, the snow and ice get faster. In fact, snow from an avalanche can move as fast as 200 miles per hour. That is 3 times faster than a car on the highway. Paragraph 2. Most avalanches happen after big snowstorms. New snow puts added pressure on snow already on the mountain. That added pressure can make the old, and turn the page, continue in paragraph 2, can make the old snow break loose and start sliding. Avalanches can be dangerous. Heavy snow moving down a mountain may pull other things along, such as trees and rocks. A powerful avalanche can damage everything in its path. Many people like to ski and snowboard. They want to have fun on mountains. They also want to stay safe. Experts can usually tell when an avalanche might happen. The experts can warn people of the risk. The risk may be low or high. People have to pay attention to warnings to be safe. Now I'm going to read the second passage, Weathering and Erosion, also by Rachel Cressman. Paragraph 1. Nature is always changing. Those changes are called natural events. Some natural events happen quickly. Think of a fire that starts when lightning strikes a tree. Other events occur slowly, such as when rocks are worn down over hundreds of years. This happens because of weathering and erosion. Weathering is what happens when a part of a rock is loosened. Parts of rocks are usually loosened by nature. Erosion happens after weathering. It is the process of moving water, moving ice, or wind carrying away a part of a rock. Paragraph 3. Moving water can cause weathering and erosion. Have you ever seen waves crash against rocks on the shore? The water can chip off small pieces of rock and carry them away. As more waves hit the rocks, more pieces are chipped off and carried away. Because of this, the rocks get smaller and smaller over time. Paragraph 4. Moving ice can cause weathering and erosion. Some mountains have solid sheets of ice near the top. During warmer months, a bit of ice melts. Then the sheet of ice may move slowly down the mountain. As the solid ice moves, it scrapes rocks, breaking off pieces. Then the pieces are taken away by the moving ice. Paragraph 5. Wind also causes weathering and erosion. Wind can blow sand and dirt. It can carry the dirt far away. In some places, strong wind will push sand against rocks. Over a long period of time, the wind wears down those rocks. So now we've read the questions in both passages. I am not going to go through and give you the answers, but I am going to go through and show you how each of these short response questions should start. And you need to remember, as you're answering the questions, you need to go back in the passage, look for your text evidence, underline the answer, and tag with the number of the question like we've done in class all year. So you're going to underline the answer, and beside it you're going to write number 1, number 2, number 3, whichever question you're answering. So our first question is, what is erosion? So you would start this sentence with, erosion is, and then you're going to look in the text, you're going to find where it gives you the definition of erosion, and you're going to underline it and write number 1 beside it, and then complete this sentence here. Remember, your sentence is going to end with punctuation, and it's going to be a complete sentence. Number 2, what are 3 things that can cause weathering and erosion? So again, you're going to start by restating your question. 3 things that cause weathering and erosion are. Then you're going to go look back in the passage, and you're going to find 3 things that cause weathering and erosion. You're going to underline them. You're going to write number 2 beside it, and then you're going to complete your answer, and don't forget your end punctuation. All right, so those first 2 questions were coming from weathering and erosion. Now question 3 and 4 is going to come from the article avalanche. Question 3, what is an avalanche? So again, you're going to restate the question. An avalanche is, and then you're going to go back into the passage of avalanche. You're going to find the answer of what an avalanche is. You're going to underline it, write number 3 beside it, and then complete your answer on these lines. All right, moving on to question 4. Question 4, we're still in avalanche. It says, does an avalanche happen quickly or slowly over a long period of time? Use evidence from the text to support your answer. So, I'm just going to start at the beginning. An avalanche happens, and then you're going to look in the text about avalanches, and you're going to find the answer for number 4. You're going to underline your answer and write number 4 beside it, and then you're going to complete your answer right here. Don't forget your end punctuation. All right, now 5 and 6, we're going to be using both articles, so it's important that you look back in both articles. You need information from both texts to support your answer. So, since this says contrast weathering and erosion with avalanches, use information from both texts to support your answer. So, weathering and erosion are different from avalanches because, and then you're going to fill in how they are different. You're going to look in the text, both texts, underline your answer, mark the number beside it so you can go back and complete this. Now, to get this question right, you have to have information from each text to support your answer on how they are different. All right, number 6, last question. Can avalanches cause weathering and erosion? Support your answer using evidence from both texts. So, avalanches, and I'm going to leave a space for can or can't, because you're going to have to find out, can or can't cause weathering and erosion. So this right here in this blank, you're going to be writing can or can't from what you got from the text. Then you're going to have to give me 2 reasons why or why not avalanches cause weathering and erosion. This is going to come from both texts. You're going to underline your answer, write the number beside it, and then complete your answer right here. Please make sure you're reading the text. I know I read the text once, but I like it when you read the text twice before you start answering the questions. I hope y'all are doing great. Have a great rest of your day, and see you soon. Thank you.